I look at my phone and my little Android here, and it can shoot 4K.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I had some kids who just recently graduated high school, and they're like, "I want to shoot films, but I don't have a camera." It's like, what are you talking about? You have one in your pocket. You know, there's no excuses. I feel like nowadays when people say, "Oh, I want to get into filmmaking, but I don't have a camera." It's like everyone's got a camera nowadays.
I was gonna say Movie Pro is $5 and allows you to shoot 24 frames, control your focus, ISO, and shutter speed. $5.
There you go.
Fantastic.
You're done.
If you have a good story, a lot can be forgiven.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And good sound.
Well, and get good sound. That's something that people forget is
Yeah.
awesome
Buy a Zoom
sound.
H1.
But there's so many. But there's
simple.
But there's so many stories you can also tell without dialogue. You can the silent era. You can just find some music online and throw something underneath, and you can create stories like that too. So there's ways around it. You just got to be creative.
Yeah, I mean it's not what you have, but how you use it. Definitely, I love to go back the Fisher Price PXL 2000. I love that. You ever heard of it?
No.
Pixel Vision. Pixel Vision was a kid's video camera, a toy video camera that recorded on 90-minute audio cassettes. They recorded the video longitudinally, long ways along the tape, so you really only get about 5 minutes of video on that 90-minute cassette because it zipped through there. It was only in black and white, and it was something around like 300, lines. It was very tiny, pixelated, ugly picture. But there were some people who were like Dogma 95 adherents, and who were like, "Oh well, we're going to do anything without lights, without technology. We're going to shoot." But they shot some beautiful stories. They added great sound in, which is a big key.
Yep.
But in the video looked terrible, but that was the idea. This is what they edited it with a razor blade and tape, and but it came out. You could tell it was crappy video, but you could see the story, you can hear the story, and so it doesn't really matter what you use if you do it right. However, if you get your C300 Mark II, C500 Mark 7, whichever, to a kid out there, a sixth grader like one of mine that I teach, are they guaranteed
If it survives the day?
If it survives the minute, would you what would the video look like?
That story reminds me a little bit of there's this YouTube channel, Digital Rev. It's this Hong Kong kid, and he had Philip Bloom come out and use these Barbie camera dolls, and can Philip Bloom make something cinematic with this really low end camera? And he kind of did, and it was just showing that no matter what kind of camera it is, in the right hands, anything can look good.
Oh, was it Stan Gill who put up that joke video where it's like we're shooting a movie on the Prius backup cam?
Yeah.
Yeah, that behind the scenes video of the Prius backup cam. Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
It can be done. If you look, like I saw a video last night that was shot primarily on a drone. Don't know who did it, Carl. No, but that was another one. It was a great exercise. It was a great little story, and everything mostly shot. Everything was shot on that drone camera.
Yeah.
But it was thought out, and when you did it, nice simple story in the end, and so it doesn't really matter what the technology is. You have this beautiful thing, and I see people who overuse drone shots or overuse the technology.
I'll prove they have it.
Yeah, it's like, look, I've got it. Yeah. So, but it's one of those things that when you put it together and you do it the right way, it enhances the story, and that's the key to me, is the story.
Yeah.
What are you trying to get across?
That's like the whole, it's easy to rip on like the old mumblecore movement, with the Duplass brothers and all those people back then, the Comfy Chair and all those movies, and but the whole mentality was anyone can make a movie, and the idea was that story trumps all. So you had people who could barely act, people who could do, with little handy cams and VHS camcorders and stuff.
You can go farther back than that to the early the 90s with Tarantino, Rodriguez, and Kevin Smith.
But even then, they're using film still though.
Yeah, but I mean they're not almost non-actors in some cases.
No, definitely. But the whole point being people using cheap household tools to basically make a movie.
Right.
And then when the DSLRs came out, people kept using crappy stuff just to imitate it, which was kind of annoying. But the mentality stood, and I think not that mumblecore shook film to its roots, but that whole mentality behind it, though, it was like story trumped all. You could hear the people clearly. The stories were real. People it was good slice of life stuff and things that people related to. So therefore, those movies were popular and won festivals, and people went and actually watched them. And now the Duplass brothers have an HBO show. I mean, it's what came of that, right? So it's just interesting to think about how much story trumps at the end of the day, and democratization of filmmaking and tools makes it easier to tell.
Which is interesting, is that film has become so democratized
God,
that
we're
anybody
such soapboxes.
so that anybody can tell a story. But then sometimes there's some filmmakers. I almost feel like they're trying to harp on that. Like you got Tarantino and Nolan, Christopher Nolan. That they seem almost like they're trying to say you're not true filmmakers because you don't shoot on film, And that seems to be almost a message they're sending across.
Tarantino a little more than others.
Well, a little more than others, yeah. It's like you're not really a filmmaker because you don't shoot on film.
Dude, I'm like, oh, how about Pierce? How about you go back to nitrate film?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. Friggin'.